my name is Birdie and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel. Today on my art progress I am doing 3-point perspective and 2 and 3-point shape stacking. 3-point has 2 points on the bottom and 1 point on the top. The top point dictates the vertical corners of a shape and the bottom points dictate the horizontal corners. 3-point perspective is very similar to 2-point, as a simple shape to do is creating a box directly between all points like I'm doing now. While I'm editing this, the video looks really choppy because it's going at like skipping through 3 milliseconds, and so if it looks choppy on your end, I'm sorry. I don't know why it's doing that. And the same goes for the audio. When I'm trying to clip and edit it, it's all jangled up in my software I'm using to edit all of this, just being very glitchy and slow, even though I have pretty good internet right now. But hopefully it doesn't come through on the actual video. For my non-center box, I find it easier to put a small dot on where the bottom front corner will be, using the top point to make the front corner. I'll then move on to make the sides, with the other 2 points going back to the top point for the rest of the side corners, and finishing the bottom last with the 2 bottom points. You've probably noticed it by now, but my footage of my drawing is kind of cropped weirdly to where most of the screen is cut out, including the pen and the colors and stuff. I'm trying to find a canvas on IB's Paint that would fit perfectly for recording a YouTube video. Haven't found it yet, so things are gonna look a little weirdly cropped, especially since I'm trying to cop out the advertisements on top, so it's gonna look a little weird till I figure that out. And same for my audio, because I still haven't bought a microphone. So I know I talked about how I'm following the checklist thing by Anime Charlie, but I also recently watched a different video by someone else, and I took some notes and created my own sort of checklist that is still a lot like the Anime Charlie checklist, but I added a few more things that I will do eventually. So first is perspective and boxes, like I've been doing. Next is stacking boxes, which I'm currently doing, and then I'll be using references to make boxy figures and creating my own little boxy mannequin type thing that I will eventually start detailing when I study its anatomy, so it doesn't look flat or weirdly shapen, if that makes sense. And then I'll practice with and without references like the creator I watched did, and then once I get anatomy and all that down, I'll start working on how to draw eyes, hair, and clothing, and then I'll learn shading, lighting, and color theory, which I believe I'll be doing in my Art 1 class, but I don't know, I'm still early in the year, so we'll have to see. Anyways, recently my Instagram feed have just been sending me down the like fantasy spiral kind of thing, where it keeps showing me all these like royal balls, well, not royal balls, just regular balls held in Europe, specifically Vienna, because I've actually been to Vienna before and been to a opera house where they hold an annual ball that I really want to go to one day, and it's just been sending me down a rabbit hole, and I love the rabbit hole, but it's also making me sad because I know that I am poor and I have to wait multiple years until I could afford to do any of this stuff with like an adult salary and adult money. When I do have adult money, I should not be trusted with it, because I will love to spend it on many things. Also like to send me down the horse rabbit hole, because I love horses and I love riding horses. I just don't get to do it often because there's not many horse ranches or farms near my house, and there's this one camp I went to, but I've aged out of it by now, so can't really do it anymore. But it is a kind of dream to own a horse and 2 horses, because I want to live in Switzerland and they have like a law about having 2 horses so they're not lonely, because they are pack animals, I believe. But having a horse would be really cool. So I'm trying to do this voiceover all in one take because of how like glitchy my editing software is being, because I'm doing it on my laptop and I think that's part of the reason why my internet is sort of fluctuating as I'm looking at it. But I do plan on taking my desktop computer, like the computer tower, to a shop to get it checked out to see what's wrong with it and maybe buy some new parts for it so I can play with that again, because I've mentioned it before, but it is fried and something in there is fried that's causing it to not work. So when I find out what that is, I'll get a new part and replace it so I can use my desktop again. But in the meanwhile, I'm doing this on my laptop, which is a little annoying, and I actually didn't know that there was limited space on Google Drive, so I had to delete my first video's video files from there so I can make room for this video's video files. But thankfully I have a backup on my laptop just in case, so that's good, and I might actually have to move those somewhere else and delete them eventually because my laptop does have limited space. For the shape stacking, it's the same for both perspectives. If the perspective is having you look down at the bottom of the shape, you start with the bottom shape and work your way up with just cutting out the parts that would be hidden behind the bottom shape. If it's looking from the top, you start from the top shape and cutting out the parts that would be hidden by the top shape on the bottom shapes. I only did bottom perspective in this video because I didn't want it to be too long, but it's the same rule for both perspectives and both ways of looking at it. School started for me recently as well. First week was only 3 days and I got a little sick on day 2, but I still went to school because it wasn't too sick. But it has sort of been a fun week, I guess, with all the welcome back kind of stuff. But my school is doing this weird thing with the schedule where we now have this thing called C days, where it's all 8 periods, because we do A and B days where it's the first 4 periods and then the last 4 periods, but C days on Fridays have all 8, but they're in a like different order for some reason, just like matchup, I guess. But anyways, on screen you can see me sort of tilting the dots as I'm doing this, and I'm doing that because I watched this video. It talked about how you can tilt and rotate the perspective dots so you can change the sort of tilts, I guess, of the boxes. But yeah, so I'm doing that, and I'll be doing that for the 3rd point perspective as well, because it talks about how when you do the vanishing points for 2 point perspective, the vanishing points create a 90-degree angle with the shapes because of like it's supposed to represent how people see, because the corners of their eyes are the vanishing points, I guess. So I'm trying that with 2 and 3rd point perspective, and I'm not doing 1 point perspective because I tried it and it was a little weird, so I'm doing 2 and 3 point perspectives just because it seems and feels a little easier than 1 point for shape stacking. So back to what I said before about Instagram throwing me down a medieval princess rabbit hole with my feed. Between all these voice clips, I've been watching Instagrams and they're still doing that to me. And it's made me realize that I want to be a gothic style, but also really love like the princess aesthetic kind of, because it's just like it's really cool, because like I want to dress in fancy dresses, because why not? It's fun and I like doing fun things, and it's why I want to be rich when I'm older, but I also want to be an architect, so who knows if I'll ever become that rich. I recently got my all region music for orchestra, and when we got it, we were all like, oh, this is so easy. But when I was practicing it yesterday, it was like, oh, I see why this is the all region music, because one of the songs is really slow, and slow music is always really hard for some reason. But then one of the other songs is also really fast, so it's like, my god, please stop. Cause it's fast 8 notes. It's like a 132, and then one's a 60, and then another one I believe is around 120. But either way, it's a good selection of pieces. Maybe this year I'll get all region, because the first time I actually tried out for all region was when I was it was last year, because the other times I was either out of the country or it wasn't a requirement and I didn't do it, which is kind of funny. But this is my 2nd year trying out for all region, and so maybe I'll get it. I know that for the past, I believe, 2 years I've made it into all city, which is cool, and the all city music album is pretty fun, I think. I liked last year's selection, despite hating actually playing the music. It was still good music, but hopefully this year it won't be as bad, and hopefully this year they won't wait until 2 weeks before the concert to give us the music to learn, because they did that to us last year and that was the worst thing ever, especially since I had to practice like another 3 songs for my school's concert. Oh, and while practicing the audition music, I have other music I have to practice. 1 I have to memorize, and 2 are for my private lessons. So that's fun. I have like 10 things to practice. So speaking of orchestra, I want to talk about my classes this year. I think most of my teachers are pretty nice. I'm not so sure about my world history teacher, because I've heard stories, but I actually don't know what to talk about right now, because I think that's probably going to be like one of the hardest things I have to deal with this channel, because I don't really know how to talk for 20 minutes straight without there being another person to talk to, because I'll run out of things to think about and talk about, because that's just how my brain works kind of. But I do want to move to Switzerland when I'm older, and specifically Zurich, because I want to study architecture in Zurich. But I know the citizenship process is like 10 years, but I think I'll be able to do that. I just have to know about how I'm able to stay in Zurich for 10 years. But I have time to research that and figure it all out before I head off to college. So I actually have a funny story that I just thought about now. When me and one of my friends went to the mall a couple weeks back, we were stopped by one of those little kiosk things, I think that's what they're called, that are typically in like the middle of the halls of the hallway of the mall. And it was a perfume one, and we actually bought perfume from it, and it was cheap. It was like cheaper than we thought, because it was $40 for 2 when we thought it was going to be like $120. But it's supposed to be like knockoff Miss Dior, because it says "My Dear," and I thought that was really funny. And I would put a picture of it up on the screen, but because of how glitchy my computer is being, I don't even want to know what issues I'm gonna have by trying to put an image up on screen, because I'm already having issues with the video replay and the audio and stuff like that, and I keep having to close and reopen the software. It's just like, my god, please calm down, you're gonna explode my computer. But I'm trying my best, and if this is my best, then so be it, I guess. Sorry though. I am getting new glasses though. They should be coming in soon. And I thought they were really pretty. They're blue sparkly, and it'll be kind of hard to match them with clothes because I don't only own blue clothes, but it's fine. It's mostly just dressing up for school, and even then I barely dress up for that because it's always sweatpants or jeans with a t-shirt because I'm lazy. Something kind of funny about this video is that the friend I was actually at the mall with might actually be watching this video right now, because she said she subscribed to my channel and stuff, and she saw my first one. So hi Mila, if you're watching this. We have math together, and we didn't actually know that because we misread our schedules, but we have math together, so that's fun. And I guess that's like a little shout out segment of my friends, because I think some of my old classmates might be subscribed to the channel, but I don't really know who, because I can't see everyone who's subscribed, only the people who have public subscriptions. So yeah, if you're one of my old classmates, hi, I guess. With the video coming to an end, I would like to say thank you for watching, and I hope you'd like to subscribe if you're not already. And it would be great if you could leave a like or a comment. My Instagram will be in the description if you'd like to follow that. And with that, I hope you have a good day or night. See you soon.